You need to sort this out once.
I need to sort it out.
Once and for all, like just a showdown for the ages. Even in his prime, that's a disgusting challenge. Like there's a line to be drawn.
We're not trying to injure anyone.
I just want to say, Chelsea, you are Liverpool's dogs now.
Hi guys, I'm Davina.
And I'm Ishan, and welcome back to episode 8 of Round the Wall.
The newest and hottest place to hear us talk all things football. Now, we've been away for a while. We had a few issues, didn't we?
Yeah, so I know last time there was a big gap between episode 6 and 7 and between 7 and 8 now. I promise you, we were in here recording 3 weeks ago with, actually, we had a special guest on, Sarab, who we apologised to because we couldn't get the pod out.
We wish you could be here today.
We're going to get him on in the future. Me and Davina spent hours trying to get the clip out. We had so much good content for you guys, but it wasn't to be.
Yeah, there's a certain video editing software which has made mortal enemies out of us. So,
But fear not, we have a new member of the team now as well, Dill, who's going to be our consultant. He's going to be helping us with getting the clips out, giving us advice, and just generally being part of the team. So he's going to manage that side of things now, and hopefully it will go seamlessly so we don't have any issues. And yeah, ready to get stuck in today.
And yeah, like you're saying, before I really interrupt you, we have some good things, exciting things planned to talk about. First and foremost, you might see that my co-host over here has the biggest smile on his face because they are new recent champions of the Carabao Cup. How do you feel?
I feel over the moon, honestly. Like, I know the Carabao Cup is probably the least significant of all the major trophies.
I have a question for you.
Okay, we've already got an immediate.
Obviously, this is your 10th League Cup.
Yeah, minor 10. Yeah.
It's your first trophy of the season. It's the first available trophy of the season. I've seen Liverpool fans sort of say like, "Oh, you can't get excited about the League Cup."
Yeah.
It's massive. A trophy is a trophy.
A trophy is a trophy, and it's all dependent on context for me. Like, there's so many things riding on it. Firstly, we'll touch on it. The way it was won with the youngsters.
Unreal.
Beating Chelsea in a final. It's a final, like you said. It's a trophy. Klopp's last season could be his last trophy. Going 10, like, record holders. For all that reason, does make it special. There's some of them, you know, when City win a League Cup with a Premier League, like, it's just not as big. No one really cares.
It's kind of expected from them. Right?
Yeah. I think
if they don't win it, it's like, oh.
I think it's heavily dependent on context, and I think the context, we had it in our favour this time. So it felt massive. Like, Klopp literally was saying, like, it was one of the most special trophies. And this is a guy who's won Bundesliga, Premier League, Champions League, like, everything, League, Club everything. World Cup. Like, he's won everything, but he said that. So yeah, absolutely over the moon. And I was there. I was in the Liverpool end. One of my friends, Sahib, like, luckily got me a ticket. Really shout out to him. And it was just great atmosphere, party atmosphere. Loved it. Did you manage to catch the game?
Yeah, I was there. You'll Never Walk Aloneing.
Were you in that?
No, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't at the game.
I was like, surely you would have told me
that.
No,
I wasn't at the game, but I was there supporting. My whole family support Liverpool. I refrained from wearing a Liverpool shirt, even though many people asked me to. Couldn't do that to myself. But I did wear red, and I was in full support of you guys because anything to stop Mauricio Pochettino lifting his first English trophy. The wait continues.
It's crazy. So he has never won. I can't remember how many days it is now, but he's not won a single trophy in English football.
No, he's never.
Which is crazy. Southampton, Spurs, Chelsea.
Chelsea, be it his first season.
It is. But we were there for the taking.
Yeah.
We were there for the taking. Like, I've got some stats to ring off here.
Go on.
about Chelsea on that day. So the big debate I've seen is Chelsea fans have been, and even some other rival fans, have been coming at Liverpool for saying, yeah, it was the youngsters, like all that, but Chelsea had more youngsters. Okay, fair enough. Liverpool had 7 under 23 players that featured, and Chelsea had 8. Fair. Would you like to know how much those players cost? So Liverpool's 7 under 23 players. Do you want to hazard a guess how much they cost?
Oh, we were actually trying to calculate this, and the conversation changed, but I think because I saw Trent's photo with like homegrown, I don't know if it's wild to say like 20 mil.
You're not far off. 40 mil.
Okay, that's
38,
not,
38 mil,
fine.
not far.
Yeah.
Chelsea's 8. So yes, you did have more under 23s. £390 million. That is genuinely more than 10 times what it's cost. So you Chelsea fans, you are like honestly so thick sometimes. We're not going on. Yeah, you may have had more under 23s. It's the fact that you've gone and poached these under 23s from clubs all over Europe for 50, 60 million pounds. Like, you're comparing like Enzo's and Caicedo's to Harvey Elliott's and Bobby Clark's and McConnell's. Like, it is ridiculous to suggest that that Liverpool was had like some kind of experienced squad. These are kids. We were there for the taking, and you should be ashamed. Chelsea fans should be ashamed of
They should be hanging their
themselves.
heads in shame because, like, even when I saw your bench, I was like, I don't recognise any of these players. And again, with my family that I was watching it with, they're still just like, yeah, has Klopp given up? You know, when he started subbing all of the kids on,
Yeah.
in preparation for extra time, and then we were like, shit, there's still penalties.
Yeah.
Sorry, explicit word.
Yeah.
There's still penalties to go, and it could have been a different story had there been penalties.
Yeah.
But honestly, it was a very nice end to that final.
Yeah.
To see you win in that fashion.
Yeah, like it could have been. And the thing is, you say like, "Oh, who are these players?" We genuinely did not have a choice. Like, Alisson injured, Trent injured, Salah injured,
Jota
Nunes injured,
Nunes.
Jota injured, Thiago always injured. Who else is it? Soboslai injured, Jones injured.
Also, was like Nunes actually injured. The way
Yeah,
that
that is genuinely like. Honestly, the content was so wholesome after the game. Like, that was so good to watch. Like, Salah getting trampled over. Nunes. Do you see why we love him now?
You know what?
He's just
Low
like,
key.
I think
I'm a
he's like the
fan.
way you love Richarlison.
Yeah.
Is like the way we love Nunes. Like, he's just so wholesome. Like, he's
He
just a
loves
pure
your
guy.
club.
Yeah.
He
He's
loves
such a
your
pure
club.
guy.
No, I get it. I get the love.
And then also, just that's the under 23s. And then Liverpool's squad, 285 mil total. Chelsea, 640 million pounds. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous. And that's not to mention, like, even some of our more expensive signings on there. Gravenberch had to go off after half an hour. We were playing Connor Bradley, who's just come to fame this season at right wing. Could be a bit part. That's why I'm saying, given the context, is one of the greatest cup final wins that I've seen. I loved it. And it's the first time I've actually seen my team win a trophy in real life, which was lovely to see. And then I just want to say, Chelsea, you are Liverpool's dogs now. Because not only...
You're calling the whole club out.
Yeah, because 6 domestic finals on the bounce, so that's just a general L. And I don't think Spurs should be taking the bottler mantle at London now.
Honestly,
I think
thank you so
that should be passed on to Chelsea. You've now lost 4 cup finals in a row to us, and that's both Europe and domestically. Super Cup, FA Cup, and 2 League Cups. Like, you pride yourself on this success and, you know, doing it when it matters. You're just taking L's left, right, and centre.
And for a club which kind of prides themselves on their, you know, when you talk about like culture at the club, I've spoken to Chelsea fans and they're sort of like, the culture around our club, the way that we operate is spend big in order to win big.
Yeah.
And with that kind of record, that culture doesn't exist. They've spent big and it amounted to nothing.
Literally nothing. And look at it, like they're arguably worse off. I think getting to the final and losing has been arguably worse off for them because they know it was there for the taking. It makes them feel that times worse. And honestly, for me, this final has just... I already said it, and there was a clip I put earlier about Van Dijk, me being the best centre back in the world. I think it's...
Repost it.
Yeah, I'm going to repost it right now.
It's still relevant to this day.
This guy's a centre back. 3 final man of the matches, Champions League, 2 League Cups against Chelsea. Historic moments in all of them. Like, I think in the Spurs one, I think, was it Dele Alli that was running down at him, and then he like
Champions League final.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like there was one moment like just blocking everything. In the first League Cup final, remember that Kepa one where Kepa was going to the one side and Van Dijk still put it that side. This one, match-winning goal in the moment. The guy is just creating a CV, and he's talk about longevity now. He's been doing it. So if you count his Southampton days when he was one of the best centre-backs in the league then, which was like 2015, 2016. We're in 2024 now. This is an 8-9 year run he's putting together. Post ACL, this guy is... for me, the best defender I've ever laid eyes on. And if he keeps going on and on like this, he's going to be in the conversation for best Premier League defender of all time. But yeah, just wanted to get that all out there. I'm a very happy man and just want to push on now for the rest of the season.
Do you know what? I was buzzing that you guys won because I got to see so many people around me happy. And I love to see the Chelsea tears. I was spewing hate on the timeline. I loved it so much.
Any beef with Astrid?
Nah, not. She's creating her own beef right now.
Well, what's she done?
You know, she said that she got that ticket
Off that guy with his zipper down.
Yeah. Apparently, he didn't actually give her the ticket. They took a picture together. He didn't know that that picture was going to be used in that context. And people have contacted his employers, his family. Yeah, Twitter, sometimes you can be a cesspit.
So what? She didn't actually get the ticket off him?
No.
So where did she put... So she probably had one the whole time.
She probably had one the whole time. Apparently, she wasn't even scanning it correctly.
She's just... You need to sort this out once.
I need to sort it out.
You know, once and for all, like, just a showdown for the ages.
Showdown for the ages, gosh. But, no, really happy for you. And on Saturday, it was actually the 16th year anniversary of Tottenham's last trophy win.
Which was also the League Cup.
Yeah.
Oh, no wonder you're trying to, you know, keep it relevant.
The Carling Cup in 2008.
You beat
Chelsea.
Chelsea. It was Chelsea in the final.
Jonathan Woodgate.
Yeah.
What a guy.
Who would have been in goal then? It went to penalties, did it not? Or was it? Is it the 1-0?
No, it went to extra time.
Woodgate scored the. Do you say?
Yeah, Woodgate scored.
Maybe I don't know what I'm getting confused with. But yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe soon come. You were supposed to win a cup this season, weren't you? No? FA Cup, League Cup. No.
We do not talk about these things. We do not talk about Tottenham's performance in the FA Cup because my head is so hot. Actually, it leads on quite nicely from what happened in the Liverpool game, the goal that got ruled out, your goal.
Yeah.
The offside or whatever.
Just wasn't offside.
And then am I remembering this stupidly wrong? But there was a foul and the goal got ruled out.
So they said that. So Endo, when the ball got put in, Robert put it in. Endo was in an offside position, and then he basically just stood his ground.
Yeah.
And Colwill ran into him.
Yeah.
Colwill was somewhat close to Van Dijk, so they were like Endo was obstructing, and Colwill may have in some dimension got to Van Dijk and stopped Van Dijk from getting the header. Hence, they ruled the goal out.
It was technical.
But it wasn't even a foul. He just stood there. It was like the most nitpicky decision. This is where people criticize VAR. This is why they criticize it. Like, no one's looking for that.
So that foul was given, and that's why they ruled it out, right?
Yeah.
So if we think back to the Man City Tottenham game, which led to Man City scoring their first goal ever at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
Yeah.
Sad time. There was a foul on Vicario, which led to Man City's goal, but that was not like looked at. They didn't give it. And that's why.
Literally in the
when the goal was scored.
What remind me of the goal again? Who was it?
If I can pull it up, did Rodri score? There was a header, like literally in the last 4 or 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And there was intentional foul on Vicario.
Yeah.
Ball in the back of the net. I'll show you after the pod, but it was just. Oh, if you're gonna make a rule for something, make it consistent.
We're like broken records now. It's consistency is all we ask for now, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we're just not going to get it.
We're not going to get it.
Anyway, moving on from... Well, we can have a nice segue speaking about Spurs, because we're going to cover the Premier League kind of fixtures, but then also have a talk about the general picture now. We're getting to the business end of the season.
Yeah.
Both our clubs are involved in different races, but equally important, like title race, top 4 race. So we can cover... I've written down kind of the main fixtures. So we got... United stealing the headlines, bar the Carabao Cup for this weekend with a nice little 2-1 loss at home to Fulham. The Niger boys doing their thing.
Oh, gosh.
What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, United. See, like, at the beginning, I was like, okay, cool, United in some flow, in some rhythm. I just don't understand because it's really reminiscent of, like, when Tottenham used to go 1-0 up and absolutely not forget how to play football.
Yeah.
And that's what I kind of saw from United because it was honestly quite confusing as to what their game plan was. I actually have a shout out for there's a Twitter page on Twitter, obviously, called Alternative MUFC Comms.
XX. We get copyrighted.
On X, called Alternative MUFC Comms.
Yeah.
If you've seen it.
No.
And there's a guy who does commentary of how, like, all the highlights of the games from a United fan, but he's not afraid to call out the United players for doing something wrong. So again, go and check them out because I find it absolutely hilarious. Best content on the app. And yeah, he literally just like makes fun of the way that the players play, and it's so accurate because they just score a goal and they lose their minds. And that Fulham goal was coming.
Yeah. No, Fulham play them off the park.
Yeah.
It wasn't one of them. To be fair, with most of United's results, they've been lucky this season. They've been played off the park a lot of times, starting even from the first game of the season against Wolves. Fulham killed them, killed from start to finish. United were lucky to even get a goal, and Fulham deservedly won. I think United were putting a run together in recent weeks and making in their eyes, a little sneak shot to the top four. And I think it did massively coincide with Rasmus Højlund coming to form. I think he scored in 7 Premier League games in a row. Transferred in my fantasy, thank you very much. Gets injured an hour later.
Yeah, you're running away with our fantasy.
Yeah.
Do you know my captain this week?
Who?
Garnacho.
Davina.
Tried to be edgy. I'm sorry.
It's edgy and it's downright.
I'm sorry, in our league, you're at the top and I'm like second from the bottom and we've got the same team name.
It's fine. We're repping both sides of the table.
Exactly.
It's
called range.
But yeah, no, I think they finally had someone to put their chance because Rashford's not been firing, Bruno's not been scoring it, and then I think it's just as soon as Højlund gets injured, no one's going to put it in the back of the net, and you see what's going to happen now. They rely on a goal from Harry Maguire, but still get played off the park. I think if Højlund comes back soon, they might be able to string some results together, but I just don't see. I think Tottenham and Villa are far too strong for them in the top 4 race. I think it's between one of those two, which probably brings us on to Villa's impressive showing against Forest.
Very impressive showing against Forest.
Yeah. Conceded to. I had Douglas Luiz in my fantasy.
Oh,
he scored a couple.
The only Villa player I have is Ollie Watkins.
And he's been incredible this season.
Incredible form.
Like, so many goal contributions. I think he should go in as Kane's backup in the World Cup, in the Euro, sorry.
Oh, shout, yeah.
Because it is one injury to Kane, and that's it. Like, you need someone to, because who is it going to be? Definitely not playing Rashford down the middle. It's got to be, it's between probably what? Watkins, Bowen? You put Bowen up front?
To be fair, he scored a hat-trick yesterday, didn't he?
Going gun for gun with Watkins. I guess you got Solanke as well, but nah.
He kind of dropped off this half of the season.
Yeah.
He finished last year quite strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, Gareth Southgate has options, but
it's got to be Kane.
It's got to be Kane.
Speaking of, he is cursed. Oh, come on. Like, Leverkusen are literally going to win the league. Like, the last team to win the Bundesliga, bar Bayern Munich, was Dortmund under Klopp. Yeah. We know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
Like, and as soon as this guy comes to the league, like, I was a joke at first, but he has got to be cursed.
Harry Kane, they could never make me hate you. I want you to win it. And he's having one of those seasons where it's like, you man are losing, I'm not losing. Because he's having the season of his life.
But the term you loved using at the beginning, that effect when you left Spurs.
The Ewing effect.
Yeah, so
Ewing
this
theory.
is the reverse Ewing theory. I feel like
reverse Ewing.
Yeah, I'm coining a new term right now.
The team plays worse when there's a keeper.
Yeah, maybe it is. Maybe this is genuinely what he is, because he absorbs so much attention. He's always dropping back, playing like a bloody midfielder and trying to do everything. Maybe he genuinely does make the team worse.
Wow.
I don't know. Like, I'm struggling. Like, don't get me wrong. I think he's one of the best players in the world. But there's got to be something. You don't go to Bayern Munich and not win the league. That's just not a thing.
It's not a thing. Are they not down in the Champions League as well?
Yeah, they lost to bloody Lazio as well, 1-0. Tuchel's gone at the end of the season. So
I don't understand that decision, because that's a sacking. But
they just don't have they don't have anyone else to bring in.
He lasted 1 season.
Yeah, it would be 1.5 by the time he leaves. Yeah. I think there's 2 parts to it. It's probably like, so they couldn't find anyone to replace him, and secondly, at least now there's no pressure. Like, there's no like Tuchel like fearing for his job. He's already gone.
Yeah, but that's just silly, because again, Bayern are to the Bundesliga what City are to the Premier League. Like, you are expected to win the league.
Yeah.
You are expected to at least win another cup.
Yeah.
So he's not. I don't want to say he's the curse. Harry Kane, just come back to us. We'll take you.
Oh God, I wouldn't. I mean, you're flying. Well, somewhat flying,
You can come back as a technical assistant.
we've covered the three teams now. So we've talked about Villa, we talked about United, talked about Spurs. We'll go on to Tyrese later. Try and take the Tottenham hat off here.
Yeah.
Who's getting top four? I had a look at the fixtures. You've all got tough fixtures left.
Yeah,
you've got a run where
we've got a run when we've got Newcastle, we've got City, we've got Liverpool, we've got Arsenal, and they're going to put Chelsea away in the middle of that because we should have played them on Friday.
Yeah.
But then obviously they had the cup, so.
So right now it's what? So United 26 played 44 points. Spurs 25 played 47 points. Villa 26 played 52 points. So if you win your game in hand, you cut it to 2 points. But I think low key, like Spurs is. So Villa are not as strong as both Villa and Spurs are not as strong as they started the season off as. You both dropped slightly, but Villa's was a bit weird. They've had injuries as well. To be fair, in the back line, I think Konsa got injured, Mings injured, couple injuries. Spurs had injuries, but your players have come back now. But you're still struggling a bit. So there's no better person to ask than you in terms of what is it? Draw against Everton, loss against Wolves. This is now with Maddison, with Son, with Richarlison, with Romero, with Van der Ven, like all these guys that you lot were saying, like we need to wait for them to come back. Like what's happened to the results, the Ange ball that we were seeing at the start of the season?
Honestly, there's like I was at the Wolves game, and it was. I didn't know what I was seeing because we'll have patches of like 10, 15, 20 minutes where we should be scoring. And the players are there. You can see what they've been practicing in training. And then, again, it's this high line which leaves us really exposed. And teams which are there to play will take advantage of that. And I can't lie, the Wolves game opened my eyes a little bit. Not that it was the first time, but really opened my eyes into the sense that if they know how to play a high line, Tottenham will be so exposed. And it's sort of like, how many last-ditch tackles will Van der Ven and Romero be able to do? We were without our fullbacks on that game. We didn't have Porro, we didn't have Udogie.
Porro injured, Udogie.
Both of them had like muscle issues.
Fine. But you've got cover there. You've got
Emerson,
and you've got Davies, right?
Yeah.
So you think... Okay, I don't want to misquote you, but you think you're saying that the style's been found out?
Not at all. I don't think it's been found out. I just think that there's some adaptability which needs to be had. I really fully enjoy this high line of football.
Yeah.
But it's getting to a stage where I'm like, but Ange, the players that you've wanted, we kind of have gone out and got because we have spent money.
Even in January, you got the Dragon.
Dragusin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we got Werner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's like the players that he's wanted and identified, for example, Brandon Johnson, 50 mil.
Oh, yeah.
We didn't know that we didn't, like, I wasn't definitely going to get Brandon Johnson. I had other prospects in mind. And we bought in Brandon Johnson.
Yeah.
Like, Maddison immediately came.
Yeah.
So I know it's his first season and it will come with getting used to the squad again. But yeah, I felt like Wolves completely played us off the park.
Yeah. And Wolves are, look, let's give credit to Wolves as well. They've been top side, like arguably the most overachieving team this season, considering they sacked their manager or the manager resigned before a ball was kicked, and had O'Neill in literally no preseason, nothing.
Did both of us have them to be relegated?
No, we sent the 3 down.
Oh
yeah,
sorry.
we did the classic.
we put them like just before.
The
classic.
Yeah, but yeah, no, hats off. But do you think so? Like, what's your take then? Give me your top 4 predictions. Where you mark. Firstly, are Villa, Spurs, and United your 4, 5, 6? And if they are, what's your ranking? Who are you putting in?
4, 5, 6 are those 3. I think. Well, it could be top 5 that get Champions League.
True.
But I think I can't decide whether who gets it between Villa and Spurs, 4th and 5th. I think if it comes down to the end of the season, it'll be literally 1 or 2 points between them.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a vast gap in quality between, like, Villa right now.
Yeah.
The quality on paper and the type of football that they're playing.
Yeah.
The type of football that they're playing is very good compared to the players that they have, I think.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of overachieving.
Yeah. Villa have spent money as well, though.
They have spent
you
money.
You are almost in similar kind of ballparks in that sense. They sold their like big player maybe a season or two before and bought a squad based on that. I'm talking about Grealish, 100 mil. Kane was about 100 mil as well. They made sign. I feel like you guys are in similar kind of positions. Both managers that have done well, kind of abroad, like nice style of football. So that's why it's a hard one to think. You guys play each other 10th of March as well. So coming up soon. So that's actually a huge game for the top 4 race. Because for both your clubs, it'll be massive.
It's away. It's at Villa Park, so
yeah,
it will be massive.
So you're
it's technically like a 6-pointer, right? So yeah, that would be huge. And you know what? You're not wrong. That's why I said there'll only be 1 or 2 points between us towards the end of the season, whether who finishes 4th or 5th. I just think again with United, it's so inconsistent.
Yeah,
they're calling like Eric Ten Hag. 10 matches left.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I think United will drop off from those.
Yeah.
Drop off from that like top 4, top 5 race.
Yeah.
Europa. Yeah, that's my prediction for that.
Yeah, I think United's look, the performances never lie. I think even though United have managed to string a few results together recently, I think that it's just not their style of play is just not sustainable. They give away too many chances. They've got key players injured. I don't see them getting top 4. I think it's a toss up between Villa and Spurs. I'm going to stick with Spurs just because I think Villa, I think the wheels will fall off at some point. I just don't back Emery to make top. Like, remember there was that one where he was like shoo-in to get top 4 with Arsenal and then he just fell away. And I think Spurs, maybe because you've had so many players coming, like Son back from Asia Cup, Maddison back from injury, like maybe they just need a little bit of time to re-gel again. So I'm going to stick with Spurs and Villa 5th and United 6th. Probably do that. We also had a couple of, obviously we were playing in the Carabao, but the other 2 kind of title favourites were in action. Arsenal thumping Newcastle.
Arsenal
4-1. Thoughts? You managed to catch highlights or watch
I was
it?
catching highlights, which leads us nicely on to our talk about the run-in, the title run-in. It'll be tricky. I mean, the title race is kind of shaping up to be an all-timer because it's not just 2 teams, it's 3 teams, all which at some point of the season I was convinced for sure that they would run away with it.
Yes. Yeah,
You know what I mean,
that's
there's
a great
like
point.
my mind has changed.
That's a great point. Yeah.
That I was like, yeah, these guys are going to win it, or these guys are going to win it, and it just keeps getting closer and closer. Like, who did Arsenal play at the weekend?
Newcastle.
Yeah, so they beat them 4-1.
4-1.
So there's like, I think there's 2 points which separate the top 3, right?
Yeah, it's finally leveled out in terms of games now. So Liverpool on 60,
Yeah.
City on 59 and Arsenal 58. Look, you can't get any tighter than that.
It honestly, and like at this stage in February, it's a good thing to see that there's not like a 10-point gap.
Yeah.
So when I was thinking about who would win it from this point in, I was obviously looking at their run-in.
Yes.
So Arsenal on paper have the toughest fixtures, particularly their set of away games. So they've got City, they've got to go to City, Brighton, Wolves, Tottenham, and United.
Okay. Yeah.
They've got to go to all of that. And their home fixtures are particularly favourable. They've got like Brentford, Chelsea, Luton, Villa, Bournemouth, and Everton on the last day. All 3 title challengers are playing at home on the final day of the season.
Wow. That's big.
So
Big. And you lot have a massive say in the title race.
We have
you
a
play all
massive say.
You play us 3 in a row. Arsenal, City, and Liverpool in a row.
Tottenham.
Come on, do it.
Little old Tottenham Hotspur deciding the title race. Not
Do us
the
a
kind
solid.
of decisions that I thought we'd be making back in August to October Ange Ball.
Yeah.
Because I really thought that we were going to...
And actually, the 2 home fixtures for you will be the other 2. It's we play you at home, but you play the other 2 at home.
Yeah.
So that's actually
And like we are the bogey fixture for Manchester City.
Yeah.
I think we can put up a good game for Arsenal at home.
I'm actually really excited for. I mean, like obviously when you're in the title race, it's like you get no, especially when you compete with City, man. They give you no bloody room to breathe.
And
But I'm
this is
excited
their, like,
for this.
business end of the season, right?
I'm excited. I'm really, really excited.
Like City's trickiest part will probably be of the, like remaining of this season is arguably like their next 2 games because they got United at home.
Yeah.
They got the Manchester derby this weekend.
Yeah.
And then Liverpool away.
Yeah. And yeah.
So that's very tricky. It's if they go on a 5-game run with 10 points or more,
Yeah.
I think they've got it.
Yeah. I think, do you think they have to beat us to win it?
They can't lose.
They can't lose.
Because again, it's not just
It's only
it's
a
not
point
just
to be fair.
it's a challenger, so
Yeah.
you just can't lose.
Yeah.
Because if they lose,
And we
then
equally
that's
can't lose
points
as well,
on
because that'll
top,
be so
like,
mentally draining.
it'll be so mentally draining.
And we've got a few injuries to that. Like, it's not guaranteed that Salah will be back for that. Alisson's out for that, guaranteed already. Mm-hmm. Kelleher put in a stellar performance, but that is going to be a pressure game.
Like if I just look at Manchester City, it's hard for me not to think that they've got it. At the end of the season, if you think about like their last 6 games,
Yeah.
Luton, Tottenham, Forest, Wolves, Fulham, West Ham.
Yeah, you can just
That's
see
their
it
last
now.
6
They'll
games.
just go on a little run. So we need them to, I need them to falter now. Like, they need to keep dropping. Like they dropped against Chelsea. Need United to do a solid, and I think we need to go and beat them. I think we need to put out a statement. We need to go beat
But
them.
I don't think that's even a big ask because you often play very well against Manchester
But
City.
we haven't actually beaten them now. So last season we drew. No, the last season we beat them actually.
you
We
beat
did beat
them.
them. We did beat them. We did beat them. It is doable. It is doable. They're the only team though that comes to Anfield. Arsenal in recent times as well have done it, but come to Anfield and actually like at periods outplay us, which very few teams do at Anfield. So what's your call then?
I'm going City to win only because like the history doesn't lie.
Yeah.
The way that they will go into this half of the season,
Yeah.
so screwed on to the fact that they could like take the title away from you, take the title away from Arsenal,
Yeah.
retain the title off on the back of a treble-winning season. Yeah, I think it's City's.
Fine.
I do think it's City's.
And
And
then-
just again with their fixtures that they've got.
That last
That
six
last
you mentioned.
6 before the last game of the season, obviously.
Yeah.
It's like if they win all of those, 18 points. There's
Yeah.
no guarantee that you guys will go on a 6-game run or
True.
Arsenal will go on a 6-game run.
Yeah.
So
And then who have you got runners up in third then?
I got Liverpool then Arsenal.
Fine.
And that's
But do you think it'll be tight till the end?
It'll be
or do you
very
think
tight.
one? Or do you think one team?
I think it genuinely could. I think
somewhat
it genuinely could go to the last day of the season.
between all three.
Last day of the season, I think it would be between you and City. But to be fair, I was thinking about this prior to an additional injury that you got on Sunday.
Endo.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's just sort of
some
like
Endo love.
not even endo love. It's sort of like I feel so bad of how many injuries that you've got, and I know every team has injuries, but the team that you had to field in a cup final, and the caliber of players that you have injured, like at the end, the only players which are regular players, not even starters, were your back four.
Yeah, agreed. Throughout the and
That was
that
it.
probably kept us in the game, just having like that solidity at
It was
the
the back four and kids.
Yeah.
That was what your team was.
Back
I
four
don't-
kids and Luis Diaz.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Did he even finish the game?
Yeah, he did.
Okay, fine.
He,
finished the game.
he ran the most a Liverpool attacker has done in the last 5 years in any game.
What a guy.
He was a workhorse. Got a love for Lucho. What a guy.
What a guy. I saw the videos of his dad having the time of his
Yeah,
life.
was he wearing the black gloves? He is a bloody joke. He was on the bloody train with
He
the
was on the
Liverpool
train,
fans.
so it was like, ah.
You thought he'd get some like corporate hospitality. He
How
was
is
one of the
How
lads.
is his son not got him going around in like a armoured helicopter?
Yeah, he's bloody been kidnapped. He's sending him on a train, like just down in bevies. Oh,
It's
guy.
fine. The Scousers will protect him with their whole life.
Yeah, they will. I'm gonna look. Cliche. My heart says Liverpool and my head says City, but I'm gonna go with Liverpool. I think. Look, the doubts we had were like no defensive midfielder. Endo, we've just talked about him. If he stays fit, he may not be the best DM in the world. He may not be able to do absolutely everything, but he's got passion, and defensively, like he is locking that down. And honestly, like I'm so surprised about how good he is on the ball as well. not in the final, but in the league game, he was playing some against Luton. He was playing some like forward pass as well, like the type you'd see like Fabinho used to play back in the day. So he's actually like culled that weakness, and since McAllister's got better forward, we've controlled the midfield way better. And I thought we would have like faltered by now, especially with the injuries. No Salah, no this, but we've just kept going. I think this Klopp factor could actually be something. So I'm going to back us, but I think we have to. I think we have to beat City.
Going for the fairy tale ending, I see.
Yeah, I think we have to beat them.
I saw you put on your story, I want Dua Lipa to perform live when we come home with all 4 trophies.
I may have been down a few bevies,
Do you
but
know what?
I stand by it.
I
stand by
respect the
it.
delusion.
Delusion?
I respect
Davina,
the delusion.
No. It's really, look, one's done. Europa were favourites.
Yeah, you're favourites for Europa.
FA Cup, who's left? City. Fair.
You're playing...
We got Southampton tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which we're literally... Apparently we're going to field a 16-year-old. He's going to be the 3rd youngest player to ever play for us in FA Cup.
What a guy.
Nyoni. Remember the name?
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm going to stick with us, and I think we're going to go down to the wire, like you said. I think City 2nd, and Arsenal in 3rd. Arsenal's pros to buy. We have got to give them their credit. I think a lot of fans had written them off after that blip they had. Losing to West Ham away, dropping points against us. But they've come back into it. But I just think Liverpool's passion and our heart, and City's just now will make them finish above.
I'm also putting them 3rd just to manifest it.
Yes.
Because if we finished 4th, and they're 3rd, just like, we only finished 1 place behind.
Yeah, and if they don't do anything else, and let's talk about the Champions League. They were like, they've got this bee in their bonnet that they think that because the Champions League's at Wembley, like they've just suddenly decided that they're already there. They're like, yeah, it's at Wembley, it's in London, we're gonna win it. Brother, get past Porto first. We're used to smacking Porto 5-0, 4-0 every single time. By the time it came to the second leg, we were fielding like the team that we'd put up in the League Cup final. They've lost to them.
Honestly, death, taxes, and Arsenal getting humbled in the round of 16.
It's going to be if they lose
inevitable.
Genuinely, if they lose that now.
Was it like 12th or 13th of March?
Yeah.
The Arsenal fans on Twitter's meltdown was just so good. So they've got that, and then 2 weeks later they play City.
Yeah.
On I think it's the 31st.
Yeah, and they got Chelsea in between that.
Oh, I can't. Just bring me all of the Arsenal tears, put it in a glass jar. I'll keep it in my room. I'll drink it in the morning. Wait.
I've said it a lot. I've not got a problem with Arsenal. I've always respected Arsenal as a club. I used to really like Arsene Wenger. I think you're a historical club. You haven't gone out splurging money. But the issue is with the fans, you have not done anything yet to justify the levels of grandeur that you think you have. Like, just keep a bit humble, get in the title race, go in the Champions League. Don't go blurting out, we're going to win this, we're going to win that before you've done anything. Liverpool fans were able to say it because we've done stuff. And even historically, we've won bloody 5 Champions Leagues before we won the one in 2019. Just keep a bit quiet and just stay in your lane. Like, you're a respectable club, but you're just getting a bit over the top. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, and it's not even... I feel like the club as a whole wouldn't be as insufferable without their fans.
Yeah.
That's the thing. The fans are just, again, for lack of a better word, delusional.
Yeah.
Because it's sort of like you have 1/2 good seasons of free-flowing, attacking football, and all of a sudden you're winning the league and the Champions League.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
So, speaking of Arsenal... I don't know whether you have their manager in this current little fun section we've included here. So we saw this actually with the help of Dill, our consultant. We also saw this flying around the timeline about who the top 5 managers are in the world right now.
So employed in a job based on the team that they're managing right now.
Yeah.
Top 5 current managers in the world.
And obviously a little bit factors in like what they have done in maybe in the last 1 or 2 years.
Yeah.
Like obviously there's a bit of a history to it, but like we're trying to talk as present as possible. So without further ado, should we begin with our 5th choice?
Yes. And we spoke about this league a little bit. I've got Alonso in number 5.
Number 5. Okay.
Got him in as number 5. I had my honourable mention was Arteta.
Okay. Mine as well. In terms of honourable
he was
mention.
my honourable mention But again, prove something to me, and then we might be able to talk. Also, it might be a little bit of my bias, but just for me, in terms of right now, what Xabi Alonso is doing with Leverkusen, he's got Bayern. Like we said, the last time that someone won the Bundesliga that wasn't Bayern Munich was Dortmund with Klopp.
Yeah.
He has Bayern on strings.
Yeah.
Like, he has started a revolution in that country.
Yeah.
Because everyone's just like, what on earth is going on? Famously, Leverkusen have always been like that underachiever club. And what I likened Leverkusen in the Premier League to were Tottenham.
Yeah.
In the sense that always there, almost like nearly there, Champions League.
Yeah.
Like
Had
that
big
kind
players
of,
play for them.
do you know what I mean? Like that kind of level.
Yeah.
And now they're on track to, I think, win their first ever Bundesliga.
Yeah, I think it is. Yeah.
And now with, obviously, Liverpool looking for a new manager, Bayern looking for a new manager, they've got their eyes on him.
Yes.
And their eyes are on him for a reason, which is why he's in my list.
Yeah. I had him further up the list.
Okay.
So I had him at number 4.
Okay.
So I'll give my piece of echoing exactly what you're saying. Like, we can't look past what this guy's done. He picked them up when they were, I think, 17th, so almost in the relegation. They were in the relegation zone. He got them to he took them to the, I think, Europa League, either semi-finals or finals last season. He's unbeaten in a league that has been a monopoly for the last 10 years. Has gone and beaten Bayern, like played them off the park, too short off the park, with a far like inferior squad in terms of how much money he spent, doing it all with a beautiful brand of football. And he's been flexible as well. Like, the way he played last season and the way he played this season are two completely different styles of play.
100%. His adaptability, again, that's something that I was like, what a manager.
And he's got the style and the aura. And honestly, he's got the world at his feet. Like, just because of the way because of his playing career as well, he's got avenues open to like the biggest clubs in the world. Like, if Ancelotti goes anytime soon, there's a door open from Real Madrid. There's a massive door open from Liverpool. Bayern are now looking for managers. They'll want him. Leverkusen will be begging for him to stay. Like, he is... Look, Pep is arguably the greatest manager of all time, but he is... We talk about players and generations of players, how Mbappe and arguably Haaland have picked up the mantle from like Ronaldo and Messi. I think Alonso is the next big manager post Pep and Mourinho.
Yeah, he's
and
got
Klopp.
his youth and, like I said, his revolutionary management style. You know what we need? We need an all or nothing for his management style. I feel like that would work wonders, because to work with a squad like he has at Leverkusen and to get them where they are now, I'd like to see the like philosophy behind how he's done that.
Yeah.
Because that's very admirable.
What's your thoughts on his... Where do you think he's going to... What do you think his move's going to be?
I think Ancelotti just signed a new contract.
There was this talk about Ancelotti managing Brazil. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that. But I think in December he signed a new
because I think it came from the Brazilian Federation.
Yeah.
They were just like, Ancelotti's going to be our next manager. And then he was like, what?
Just starting their own little rumour. Like their own little grapevine gossip. But...
Grapevine. Sorry.
We're not sponsored by them. Let's not plug them. It's... I think if there's two choices are Bayern or Liverpool.
And what you say?
I would like to see him in the Prem.
Yeah.
I think it's very fitting that we have one of the best upcoming managers to be in the best league in the world.
Yeah.
I think it would be an exciting project for him to work on. Obviously, Liverpool fans already love him.
Yeah.
So the fan base is there, and it's a good club where the culture is there that if he wants a season or needs a season to adapt, he'll get it.
Yes, I 100% agree. Yeah.
Whereas at Bayern, you don't win the league, off you pop.
He's got credit in the bank with Liverpool.
Exactly. So I think that the prospects that he has at Liverpool should outweigh the, oh my gosh, I'm managing Bayern Munich.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping for him to come to Liverpool.
Yeah. I'm hoping so as well. And I genuinely don't think I'm being biased here. I was like, obviously if Real Madrid comes in, that's a different story, but I don't think they will. If you've won the league at Leverkusen already, what genuinely have you got why would you want to manage Bayern? You're going to have way more pressure. Winning the league is just going to be seen as something you should be doing anyway. Whereas at Liverpool, he's got the connection, in the best league in the world. Him and Arteta rivalry would be class, I think. Both Spanish midfielders.
Yeah, it'd be really good.
Liverpool and Arsenal, like young managers. So I can't see why he wouldn't want to come to us, but I can't get my hopes up. Like I've been heartbroken too many times with Bellingham saga and all that. I'm just like I'm staying quiet, but I'm slowly hopeful. Like let's see. So do you want to give? So I'll give you who I had at number 5.
Yeah.
So I had Simone Inzaghi at number 5.
Inter.
Yes.
He's my number 4.
Okay, fine. So we're on the same.
Yeah.
So the reason I put him at 5 was because he is killing it at Inter Milan in terms of with the league. They are so clear. They are 9 points clear with a game in hand at the top of the table over Juve. They are in the round of 16 in the Champions League. 1-0. They beat Diego Simeone, who's also doing a great job at Atleti this season.
Oh, he was another one of my honourable mentions.
Yes, agreed. And yeah, doing it with a great style of football and
he's
Champions League final off the back of a Champions League final against City last year. And people forget, like, Inter had their chances in that final. It was not a walkover, but for City by any means. I think he's doing a great job. I had him below Alonso just because you just can't look past an unbeaten season challenging Bayern Munich. But Inzaghi is doing as good a job as he could do, and he's like a dark horse. What's your take?
Yeah, for me, it was like, I'm not saying I avidly watch the Italian league, but the bits that I have seen, he shows that it's possible to be in that league and not play a horrible style of football.
Yeah.
In the sense that you can top the table and be innovative in the style of play. So that's why he's my number 4.
Yeah. I'm surprised more his name isn't being mentioned coming up more in the managerial because Liverpool, Bayern, Chelsea arguably could be looking for a manager. United. There's a lot of teams. If Pep could go at some point,
I don't think he goes at the end of this season.
Maybe not in the season. There's a lot of teams looking for a manager right now, right? And I'm surprised Inzaghi's name's not coming up more.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah, we always on these lists we always end up like.
I know,
converging.
it's great minds.
Great minds.
Number 3, I got Ancelotti.
I was going Ancelotti.
Guys, we do not talk about these
I
things.
promise you, like we literally just discuss the topics and we're like, we want to keep it a surprise. We're gonna have such differing opinions.
We're gonna have such difference of opinion. Yeah, I've got Ancelotti. Okay, I have a question for you. How do you pronounce Joselu's name?
Joselu. Yeah.
Okay. Honestly, because I have lots of Spanish league prop on my For You page. Some say the J, some don't say the J. At least I swear I won't get clowned, so sorry. Having him as their only natural centre-forward option, 6 points clear at the top, very serious, business-minded manager, doesn't let his emotion show.
He just does it.
Gets the job done.
I don't even do it.
I think he did, yeah. But, of course, having Vinny and Jude helps, as it would help any team, but yeah, I have nothing but admiration of him. Don Carlo, we love him.
I think, like, literally what you said, like, he's just a boss, right? Like, with all the other managers we talked about, Alonso and Inzaghi, we've talked about, like, their style of play and, like, thing. And people, like to detract from what Ancelotti's done just because he may not have a distinct identity, but that is his biggest strength. He's such a good man manager. Like, he's like what you said Joselu, like, he's got this random guy who used to play at Stoke, I think, like, as his striker. And he's now, like, he's adapted Bellingham to be this, like, poacher. Bellingham scored for, like, 13 or 14 games in a row. Like, he just picks, like, he had a gap at left back, so let me go play Camavinga at left back. He's just great at just spotting gaps and just, like, deciding where to go. Do you know? So they have a massive centre-back injury crisis, right? Mm-hmm. So he was like, okay, I'm going to play Tchouaméni and I'm going to play Carvajal. How he decided who's going to play on the right side and left side is he just goes up to him, like, where do you feel like you're more comfortable playing? Like, it's just a very, like, distinct, like, kind of up the more like the Ferguson and the Klopp ilk of it, like, just a great man manager and knowing how best to get players out, and it's showing. Like, top of the league again, like the La Liga after the Premier League. Maybe Barcelona is the most competitive league. Like, Barcelona's obviously they won it last season. Atletico can come up here and there. So I think he's just great. And you can't, like, I know we're trying to do in the world right now, but you just can't look past his legacy as well. Champions League with Madrid, two Champions Leagues with Milan, League with Madrid, League with Milan, League with Chelsea. He's done a job at Napoli, like got Everton even to 7th place. Like this guy has just done absolutely.
I forgot about Everton.
He's
What a
done
fever dream.
everything. Like he's just ridiculous. Like
He's got arguably all he's got left is Brazil.
Yeah, the national team coach. I think there's a massive shout to be. There's so many in the conversation, but like Ancelotti's name can easily be brought up in the best of all time conversation.
It's just he's not as big of like he's just not got good PR.
Yeah.
There are people like riding out for him on Twitter to fight for his corner.
Yeah, like literally how I was saying was like, because the other guys, you know, like I'm not trying to sound it, but like younger manager, maybe a bit more like attractive, both
and
physically
also like a
and in
media
terms of their style of play. Yeah,
like they'll make something, like make a comment in the media, or just be more. Again, like we said, Ancelotti is not. He's not a manager with emotion.
Yeah.
A lot of the current managers are. So,
Yeah.
for example, if their team lose/win, there'll be an outward pour of emotion based on that situation. Ancelotti's like, yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Move on.
I'm glad we've agreed on that. So I'm guessing our top two here is the same.
Pep and Klopp.
Yeah. But what order have you gone in?
I know you've gone. I don't know what you've gone, but I've gone Pep number 1, Klopp number 2.
Okay. I'll listen to your...
I've got Klopp number 2. Again, I speak about Alonso in the same way, completely revolutionised the way that Liverpool play. He came in, 2015?
Yep.
And it's also like, if you think about then and you think about now, the way that Liverpool fans are grieving the fact that he is leaving at the end of the season is such a big testament to what a great manager he is. You don't really see longevity like that in the Premier League anymore. And we're saying 8 years is now longevity. It is longevity these days.
100%.
And you normally see a fall off with managers towards their like, I'm done at this club. But if anything, this season could be your actual chance to win 4 trophies. I mean, you're still in, like you said, your favourites for the Europa, you're still in the title race, and you're still in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
You've got it all to lose now. And he plays high energy, relentless football. His teams have been a pain in our backside, as he has in City's.
Yeah.
Going toe-to-toe with City on multiple occasions is no easy feat. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's no easy feat. Especially when you look at the resources City have had versus what he's had. You've got a massive job on your hands to replace him, and that's why he's definitely in my top 2.
Yeah. But you're putting Pep above because...
I've got Pep as number 1 because on paper, there's no coach still in the game who's more successful than Pep.
Yeah.
People call him a checkbook manager. We get it. But he's the reigning treble winner. He's pretty much guaranteed every City team that he's managed to win at least 1 trophy a season.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether it's to do with the resources that he's been given, but I respect Pep very highly as a manager.
Yeah.
And based on his accolades that he's collected as Manchester City manager, if I would say, if not the treble last season, I think my decision between Pep and Klopp would have been a lot harder.
Yeah.
Based on how much I respect Klopp
Yeah.
as a manager and as his managing style.
Yeah.
But on the back of a treble, I put Pep at the top.
Fair. That's a fair, that's a reasoned argument. I got that, and my top 2 is the same. The reason I've got them the other way around is, for me, firstly, if we're talking about right now, one's first in the league, one's second in the league. That's my immediate. For me, if the way I always explain it to people is, if you put Klopp at any of the other 19 teams in the league, he does a better job than what Pep does with those teams. If you put Klopp is going to do a better job than, say, with Wolves than Pep is going to do with Wolves. So I say Klopp's a better pound for pound manager, in my opinion. We've never seen Pep manage an average team. And even when he's had average players, he's not tried to kind of work with them. He sells them. The guy spent a military budget on fullbacks at City. Do you remember how many he got through? Danilo, Mendy, Walker, all of these, he finally settled on, and he's finally settled on 4 centre-backs. That's my that's my first thing. Secondly, like in terms of with Pep, with Barcelona, achieved absolutely great things, but he had Messi, Iniesta, Xavi, Busquets, like all come up the academy. And there is this thing surrounding the whole Barcelona. I don't know whether you've heard it, two counts of it. Firstly, okay, like one's more conspiracy, and I don't believe in it. But have you heard about, so you know Pep failed a doping test when he was a player, and the doctor that was responsible for that, he brought him back to Barcelona when he was manager there. That's the first thing. That's more conspiracy. I'm not going to buy into that. The thing that's not conspiracy is, and Chelsea fans will even agree with me here, that Barcelona team had something. There was something going on with the refs there. I think they were paying off the refs and massive. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because this track record follows. City have 115 charges against them. Like, I'm sorry, if you've broken the rules, like, what do you do when an athlete like is doping? Like,
it's
illegal. It's illegal. So not only is he spent an exorbitant amount of money compared to Klopp, who has, I looked at it in terms of the net spend in England in the last, since he took over, he's ninth. Not even in top four or anything, ninth, like below the likes of like West Ham. So you're like, it's like David and Goliath in terms of budgets, and Klopp has still managed to win everything with a far lesser budget, without any trace of illegality surrounding it. And he's beaten Pep the most times as well. And he's top of the league right now. So that's my argument. And I think Klopp could do, okay, maybe not absolutely everything what Pep did at City, but get close to what Pep did at City. Pep could not get close to what Klopp did at Liverpool. And I'm going to give the counter argument because people will say I'm deluded. What Pep has that Klopp doesn't have is in terms of the legacy on football. In terms of 10, 15 years ago, you weren't getting players trying to play out the back in non-league. Like, even in our bloody Power League, when I'm playing on a five side, with the goalkeeper and you have bloody centre-back splitting apart, looking for the short pass. That is Pep. Legacy on football, the same way Wenger was back in the day. That is Pep, and he'll have that over. Not dissuading from Klopp, though. Klopp has, in terms of pressing, the way we talk about pressing and gegenpress and all that, that is Klopp, heavy metal football. So he's got
100%.
it, but Pep's legacy on football is perhaps greater. But for all the reasons that I'll outline earlier, for me, it's Klopp over Pep. And maybe it's because I'm a Liverpool fan, maybe it's not, but I feel like the arguments I made there are fair enough. You wouldn't have seen Pep do what Klopp did on Sunday. If Pep had that bench, he would not be bringing 16, 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds on.
I mean, I'm not saying Pep wins everything, because
this long to win the Champions League as well. He won the Champions League, Premier League, sorry, not Premier League, Bundesliga at Bayern. Did not get close to winning a bloody Champions League. Like,
he notoriously has struggled in that competition.
Even Klopp got to a final with Dortmund, and he wasn't even managing the biggest club in Germany.
Was that 2013?
That was 2013.
That was the
against
final
Bayern.
at Wembley.
Yeah.
I
Gundogan actually scored full Klopp.
Yeah.
Robin winner. But yeah.
What a throwback. I mean, Pep confused himself so much to lose a Champions League final against Chelsea.
Yeah.
So sometimes he's not always on it. But
yeah. Anyway, guys, moving on from that hotly heated. Well, no, I wouldn't say it was heated.
It's not even heated. It's just we gave our own points as to why our lists were slightly different.
Yeah, that's probably it. But we can't. We have on the thumbnail. We have to make it like Davina and Isham brawl on the list. So who's going to be top of the top five managers in the league or in the world? Sorry. We've got a little round the world bit that we want. You want to say it?
Yeah, Round the Wall presents Round the World. And what we were just going to talk about a little bit today was the upcoming nature of influencer / content creator matches.
Yep, especially off the back of the Match for Hope that took place on, I think it was Friday?
Yeah, well, past weekend, yeah.
Friday. So I think you had the likes of Chunks, Philly, Sharky.
Speed was there.
I Show Speed. And then you had absolute greats, footballing greats, Roberto Carlos, Kaká, Drogba, Hazard. You had a lot. Yeah. Wenger was managing. Conte was managing. Yeah. It was a great spectacle. What's your thoughts on kind of these influencer events? And
I think, if anything, it's really cool, because I sometimes think we forget that content creators are literally people like us. Like, Chunks grew up in Northwest, and he used to work at like Cineworld Wembley. and now he is playing football against like so many people's childhood heroes. I think that is the most unbelievable thing.
Yeah.
And if anything, no one takes it seriously, but it's just a nice bit of fun to watch. It was like, I think for some people, for a lot of people, it's like worlds colliding because they watch content creators and they absorb content like SDS and like Chunks and Philly all the time.
Yeah.
And then having them also play football against players that we grew up watching, names on the back of our shirts.
Yeah.
Is very cool to see.
Yeah.
And it's often in aid of charity. So I mean,
yeah, literally,
it's all cool.
Match for Hope. They raised $8.5 million. Like
Insane.
Like what's not to like? Like what you said, it's a crossover. You're seeing your favorite YouTube stars. You're seeing players that you're so sad when they retired. You're getting to see them like don the shirt one more time. There was some good like play going on there. Young Philly was incredible.
He's very good.
He's a really good footballer, and he was like linking up with like Drogba. Like he scored an insane goal. You see some cool moments like Drogba and Sharky were bantering after the game about like
Arsenal.
biggest club in London. Like it's all good stuff. I can't see how anyone can hate on it. Raising money for charity, what's not to like? The only thing that I thought was a bit thing is like, look, I love Speed in terms of like he's a funny guy and all that. Yeah, but that's like it's a bit disrespectful.
A bit disrespectful.
Like that's a fucking legend of the game, and like he's not in his prime. Even in his prime, that's a disgusting challenge. Like there's a line to be drawn.
We're not trying to injure anyone.
Yeah, so let's draw a line under that. But apart from that, like what's not to like?
Yeah.
I think it was a great thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think.
Yeah, that brings us to the end of episode 8 of Round the Wall. We are committing on camera to say that this will be more regular. We've got an extra member to our team, and we hope that our content will be amazing as always, but just more frequent. So if you're not already, please follow us on Instagram, X, TikTok, subscribe to us on YouTube, and stay tuned for more hot topics. Hopefully the next time we have a debate will be a bit more difference of opinion, and not just thinking, oh wow, I'm being so edgy with my choices, but we've just got the same managers, same choices, but in different spots. That's all for now.
Thank you guys.
Bye.